भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयते नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम् ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा. So thank you all for joining Bhagavatam study, which is one of the most auspicious thing in our life, to read Bhagavatam. We are really fortunate to study Bhagavatam together. So we'll continue reading Sloka 24, chapter
24.
1.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji.
24 and 25 I'll be reading.
Sure.
Matirmayi nibadeyam navipadyeta kathichit praja sarga nirodepi smritisya mad anugrahat. Translation. The intelligence engaged in my devotion cannot be thwarted at any time. Even at the time of creation as well as at the time of annihilation, your remembrance will continue by my mercy. Purport. Devotional service rendered to the personality of Godhead and never goes in vain. Since the personality of Godhead is eternal, intelligence applied in his service or anything done in his relation is also permanent. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that such transcendental service rendered unto the personality of Godhead accumulates birth after birth, and when the devotee is fully matured, the total service counted together makes him eligible to enter into the association of the personality of Godhead. Such accumulation of God's service is never vanquished, but increases till fully matured.
Yes, Mataji.
What Krishna says in this sloka is, any devotional service we do to the Lord never goes waste. Since the personality of Godhead is eternal, intelligence used in his service or anything we do in relation to his service is also permanent. Lord tells in Bhagavad Gita also that any transcendental service a devotee does for him doesn't go waste. It accumulates birth after birth, and when the devotee is fully matured, the total service counted together makes him eligible to enter into the association of the Lord. So, such accumulation of God's service is never vanquished, but increases till fully matured. So, at the time of creation and at the time of annihilation, your remembrance will continue by my mercy. That's what Lord says. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Okay, so Lord is telling to Narada Muni that intelligence, what is the real intelligence? The intelligence used for Krishna's service is never goes vain and never thwarted any time. So it's a really very, very inspiring sloka for us, because we are all sadhakas. We are all trying to do service to the Lord. And sometime, due to some reasons, some situations, we may get this kind of a question, or kind of a shaking in a faith. Am I doing the right thing? why I am doing this, all those things, and what will happen tomorrow, whether Lord will protect me. This kind of questions will may come. But here Lord himself, guaranteeing Narada Muni, whatever used my service never goes vain. And he gives a guarantee that. And in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada quotes here, that Krishna guarantees that. In Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 40th verse, Krishna says, Neha bibikrama nashosti pratyavayoho na vidyate swa alpa api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bayat. Swa alpa, it says, swa alpa api asya dharmasya. So even little service to the Lord, trayate mahato bayat, it can protect you from the greatest fear. We all discussed earlier also what is the greatest fear. We are different levels of fear depending upon our life. Somebody may be fear of losing money, somebody fear of like today we are in the election result, some of the politicians losing their positions. But for generally any living entity, the greatest fear is death, losing the body, the soul leaving the body, this fear. But for devotee, even that is not a fear. For devotee, death is something going back to Godhead, back home, back to Godhead. It's like a child coming back to his parents. That is for devotees, death like that. So that's not a fear. But what is a fear for a devotee is that Anta kale cha mame kaswan mukta kalevaram. Krishna says that. So that is a fear. At the time of death, I should not forget Krishna, because unless I remember Krishna, I may not go to Krishna's abode. So at any cost, whatever situation, I should not forget Krishna. That is a fear. Let the Maya not, cover me. Let the Maya not influence me. Let Krishna protect me from Maya. That is a fear. I should not get influenced by Maya. So I should always protected by Maya. So that is the fear. At any cost, I should not forget Krishna. So that's why Prabhupada also says that devotional service rendered to personality Godhead never goes vain. There are so many pastimes, so many stories we can narrate. How Lord protects even the smallest service done. Whether Sudama, Bildamangal Thakur, or so many Arjunacharya, or so many even proper disciples. There was one very recent, one proper disciple. He went to Japan. Due to some reason, he had a bad association there. He had left Krishna consciousness. But after some time, just before his death, just about to leave the body, he came back to ISKCON. And the day he left, he was literally crying and shouting, Prabhupada, Prabhupada, because he saw Prabhupada's coming. This is a real fact, because whatever little service to Krishna, Krishna never forgets. Krishna always reciprocates. So that's why he says in the 5th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, 29th verse, Bhokta Raja Tapasa Sarva Loka Maheshwara Shuhridam Sarva Bhutanam Jnatvam Shantirachati, he says. He says, I'm the Bhoktara, I'm Sarva Loka Maheshwara, but I'm the Suhrud, dearmost friend of every living entity. Whether that living entity in whatever the body, I'm the dearmost friend, because at any cost I will not leave you. Because other friends in today's material world, if I lose money, if I don't have anything, I have not a power, they may give up. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna at any cost will not give up. He will always protect. That's why Prabhupada is concluding, he says, accumulation of God's service is never vanquished, but increases till such fully matured. So we have to try our best, improve. Like in corporate world, we say continuous improvement should be there in bhakti. Bhakti is not a stagnant. Bhakti is not something I should do and forget it. And such persons, Bhagavatam says Sumedha, very, very intelligent. Medha means intelligent. Sumedha, very intelligent. No material education required to do bhakti. Bhakti is simple desire to serve the Lord, unalloyed, uninterrupted, continuous service to the Lord. That is the mood in which we develop. That's why Narada Muni says that so Krishna is telling to, Narada Muni that my service, those who do that intelligence never goes vain. Next sloka, somebody can read, please. Okay, Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mhm.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Go ahead.
Text 25. Etavadutvopararama tanmahat bhutamnya nabolingam alingam aham cha tasmai mahatam mahiyase sirsnavanamam vidadhe anukampitaha. Translation. Then that supreme authority, personified by sound and unseen by eye, but most wonderful, stopped speaking. Feeling a sense of gratitude, I offered my obeisances unto him, bowing my head. Purport that the personality of Godhead was not seen but only heard does not make any difference. The personality of Godhead produced the 4 Vedas by his breathing, and he is seen and realized through the transcendental sounds of the Vedas. Similarly, the Bhagavad Gita is the sound representation of the Lord, and there is no difference in identity. The conclusion is that the Lord can be seen and heard by persistent chanting of the transcendental sound.
Yes, Mataji, any points?
Narad Muni says that Supreme Lord is personified by sound. He could not see by eyes for much time. Only a fraction of second he could see. He did not speak anything, but with a sense of gratitude, he offered obeisances unto him, bowing his head. Srila Prabhupada explains that seeing the Lord or hearing him does not make any difference. The personality of Godhead produces the 4 Vedas by his breathing. He is seen and realized through the transcendental sound of the Vedas. So Bhagavad Gita is also the sound representation of the Lord. There is no difference in identity. So the conclusion is that the Lord can be seen and heard by persistent chanting of the transcendental sound. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So here further importance of hearing is given. We may not be able to see the Lord. I may not have qualification to see the Lord. Even Narada Muni himself says that Lord, did not give him the vision. He just gave a few seconds vision, he is vanished. In our life, I may not have even that qualification. That's why Prabhupada says, hear about the Lord. We have wonderful pastimes in our scriptures, whether Rukmini or, Rukmini never seen Lord Krishna. Just by hearing about Lord Krishna, Rukmini, really
wanted to
marry him, and she loved him. So that's how we should approach Lord. Not only Lord's Leela, Lord's Dhamma, or any of the pastimes we should hear. That's why Bhagavatam, Krishna Katha, in Swakatha Krishna is a Punya Shravana Swakatha, Krishna says. So hearing about Krishna's Katha is Punya Shravana. So we have to hear. Hear means it should go inside our ears, like we should pour in our ears and it should go into the heart. So that is a continuous hearing should happen. Only when we hear continuously, the anarthas in our heart comes. The hearing about the holy name, hearing about the glories of Krishna, or pastimes, Bhagavatam, especially Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. So even Bhagavatam, there is a question the sage is asking, when Lord Krishna left this planet, where did Dharma surrender? The Sutta Goswami replies that Dharma surrendered to Bhagavatam. So today, Bhagavatam is, constitution for devotees. Any question for that matter, if you go to Bhagavatam, there is answer. So that's why Bhagavatam is authority. And there is a commentary given by the great acharyas, whether Sripad Ramanujacharya Acharya, Sripad Madhvacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or his disciples, Baladev Vidyabhushan, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, or Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, all the great acharyas gave their purport, Sridhar Swami, all these great personalities. And that is a purport, is a nectar. Srila Prabhupada says this book will remain as a great literature for next 10,000 years, because that's where the whole world will understand our scriptures. Today, our Sanatana Dharma is depending on our scriptures. Otherwise, today, if you see the whole world, ISKCON is distributing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, house to house, requesting them, please read, please open it up. Because the majority people say, I know, but how much I know? Am I able to really understand? Am I able to counter the questions coming from other side? Because there are a lot of propaganda happening against Sanatana Dharma today. Lot of propaganda happening. How to demean our Sanatana Dharma, how to insult. There's so many things happening. Unless we understand, unless we read scriptures, how can we counter that? And how can we at least forget counter? How can I protect myself from such an unwanted propaganda? That's why Bhagavatam has to be read. Bhagavatam has to be studied scrutinizingly. Prabhupada says we should study Bhagavatam scrutinizingly, word by word, understand and analyze it and try to imbibe in our life. Just reading is not enough. That's why discussion should happen. And I should try to imbibe in my life. I should see what changes I can do in my life. How can it improve my life? Because otherwise, if you study in the next coming verses, Prabhupada says that how this today's material world is going through. We are going through just eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. These four things, ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. If you really analyze it, what the society is doing, society is behind these four things, which animal also does. Animal also eats, animal also sleeps, animal also mates, animal also defends. A dog comes to another compound, it barks. But what is that as a human, I'm doing it. That is the difference I should understand. That knowledge can come from our scriptures, Bhagavatam. And then only I can change. That's why Prabhupada says, conclusion is that Lord can be seen and heard by persistently chanting the transcendental sound. The chanting the holy name or chanting the Bhagavatam. There is a one maybe real story or real pastime of about Bhagavatam. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's father, Srila Prabhupada's guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, his father is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a district magistrate in Jagannath Puri. There was one black magician. He was claiming that he is Vishnu, is a Falgu Bhagavan. He was claiming himself as Vishnu, and he was trying to Rasalila, calling out all young girls and thinking that, he is Vishnu or Krishna. So the complaint came to the district magistrate, who is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur personally went to him and, kind of advised him, don't do this. This is not good for you. You are a good devotee, but you cannot be Vishnu. You cannot be Narayana. What you're doing is wrong. But he did not listen. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur threatened him, please stop this, otherwise I'll arrest you. I'll have to arrest you because I'm district collector. I'll have to, put you behind the bar. Because of his blast magic, that person created so much trouble for Bhaktivinoda Thakur's family. His daughters fell sick. His wife fell sick. So he created a ghost to disturb Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur took Bhagavatam personally, went in front of his ashram and started reading Bhagavatam loudly. When reading Bhagavatam, that ghost who supposed to disturb Bhaktivinoda Thakur went back to the same black magician and created a problem for him. So the power of Bhagavatam, like there's so many points we can say. That's why where there is a Bhagavatam in the house, there is no problem in that Bhagavatam. Where there's a sloka, there is no shoka. So that's why Bhagavatam and of course Bhagavad Gita has to be always read and realized and discussed. At least one verse per day, we should do that. So, that is a practice we all should develop it. Okay, so we'll read next sloka.
Next sloka. I noted to them.
Hare Krishna Mataji. It's Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. N- Namanya
Namani anantasya hatat trapaha patham.
Shall I read the sloka for you, Mataji?
yes, Mataji. Thank you much.
Namani antasya hatatrapa patan guhyani bhadrani kritani cha smaran gamparyatam stusta managata spraha kalam pratiksham vimado vimatsaraha.
Translation purport.
Translation by
Divine
Divine Grace, AC
Bhakti Vedanta Swami
Swami
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Thus I began chanting the holy name and fame of the Lord by repeated recitation, ignoring all the formalities of the material world. Such chanting and remembering of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are benedictory. So doing, I traveled all over the earth, fully satisfied, humble, and unenvious. Purport. The life of a sincere devotee of the Lord is thus explained in a nutshell by Narad Muni by his personal example. Such a devotee, after his initiation by the Lord or his bona fide representative, takes very seriously chanting of the glories of the Lord and traveling all over the world so that others may also hear the glories of the Lord. Such devotees have no desire for material gain. They are conducted by one single desire to go back to Godhead. Thus awaits them in due course on quitting the material body, because they have the highest aim of life, going back to Godhead. They are never envious of anyone, nor are they proud of being eligible to go back to Godhead. Their only business is to chant and remember the holy name, fame, and pastimes of the Lord, and according to the personal capacity to distribute the message for others' welfare without motive of material gain. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Any points you want to share, Mataji?
Yeah, here the importance of the chanting of taking the Lord's name is explained. That Narad Muniji always used to chant his name.
Okay. So Narada Muni is saying, thus I began chanting the holy name, fame of the Lord, repeated recitation, ignoring all the formalities. Now, some may say that there is a time, place, circumstances. For some mantras to chant, we have to chant in a certain meter, certain time, and certain formalities are there. But for the holy name, the Krishna's name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, or the Krishna's other names like Narayana. So like Narada Muni used to generally chant Narayana, Narayana. So this name has no time, place, circumstances. At any time, whatever situation, we can chant. So that's why Narada Muni says, ignoring all the formalities, this material world, such chanting and remembering a transcendental pastimes of the Lord is benedictory, and he's traveled all over the world, fully satisfied and humble and envious. So we can hear from Narada how he was, he was explaining himself that he was fully satisfied, no other desire. There is no kind of, desiring any material things. He's fully satisfied, fully contented, and always humble. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Trinadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishtuna, amanena manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Humble, like tolerant like a blade of grass, humble like a tree, and without expecting any respect, give respect to everybody. In that mood, chant the holy name. So fully humble and unenvious. There is kama, krodha, mada, matsara, lobha. All these anarthas, but envy is the most dangerous one. So no envy at all. Because of envy only, we are here. We are part of Krishna. But because of our envy to our enjoy in separation with Krishna, we are here in this material world. So give up that complete envy. So that's why it says envy means no vacancy. For in spiritual world, envy has no vacancy. So such mood, he says, I traveled all over the world. Even today, we know that how Narada Muni can go to any planet, whether Golok Vrindavan, Vaikunta, Kailash, or Brahmaloka, wherever he is, or Indraloka, any moment he can enter anywhere. He has that transcendental body. Prabhupada says, life of a sincere devotee of the Lord is thus explained in nutshell by Narada Muni's personal example. So this is a lesson for us. We should also aspire to become like, of course, we cannot imitate. That's the difference between imitating and, trying to aspire. So we should always chant the holy name like Narada and give up all the envy things and always humble and tolerant and fully satisfied serving the Krishna. No other Anya Abhilashita Shunya, Jnana Karma Dhyanavrtam, Anukulena Krishna Anushilana Bhaktirutam. Our activity should be Anukulena to the way Krishna wants, and Anushilana, what he wanted also. What he told and what he satisfies him. That is Bhaktirutam. That mood we should serve and we should example. That's a personal example Narada Muni gives. So Prabhupada says, such devotees has no material desire or material gain. So, because our material things anyway will come. As my karma, whatever destined, it will come. I need to do my duty only as per Shastras. I don't have to over and over. The atyahara not required. The atyahara, with accumulating unwanted things not required. Even the material things or even the unwanted knowledge also. Knowledge required to that, know that who is Krishna, what is my duty. And that will help us to go back home, back to Godhead. Prabhupada says, go back home, means that's our home. Because Purandaradasa says, Allirudu nammane, illirudu sumane. Because this is not our place. That is our place. Go back home, back to Godhead. Godhead is my home. So that's what will help. That's what Prabhupada says. Their only business is to chant and remember the holy name. So no other business. And that's what we have to practice as much as chant and as much as propagate it. Remember and propagate others, because that's the most important. So like Narada Muni, wherever he goes, he will chant and he'll make disciples, whether Prahlad or Dhruva Maharaj, or even Daksha's children, or Prachetas, whoever Narada Muni meets, he will immediately convert them to devotees. Daksha's children, how many times Narada Muni, even Kuberas, the Kubera's children, Nalakubera and Manigriva, wherever he goes, he just make them devotee. That's a mood we should develop. We should always help devotees to take up Krishna consciousness. That is a real welfare activity. That's why Prabhupada concluding that distribute the message for others, welfare without motive of material gain. The real welfare is that. The real help to society is that. I may help somebody give some money, or I can give some medicine, or I can give some cloth. Yes, I'm not saying don't give it, but that's a temporary. Understand that. I give food after a few hours, that will digest it. He will need more. Or if I give cloth, sometime we can wear, then he need again. Medicine, one disease, another disease will come. But what is the root cause of all this? Why is hunger? Why is poor? Why is diseased? What is the root cause of it? Fix the root cause. Then we don't have to help each time. Like there is a proverb, instead of giving free, ask them, train them how to work. That's the same philosophy here. So by giving Krishna consciousness, we are fixing the problem, the root, because the sins are removed, and naturally he becomes devotee and his all problems solved. He becomes happy. So that is the real welfare of the society. Somebody may ask, why you're not building a hospital, why you're not building schools? Yes, there are people doing that. But If you really analyze it, this is the higher, this is the better. Because there, they are not solving the problem forever. I may give education, but I'm not solving the problem Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. I'm not solving the birth, death, disease. When we cannot solve the problem of disease forever. Even if I give one medicine, the another disease will come. And I cannot stop the death. But by giving Krishna consciousness, we can stop the death. Death means going back to Godhead, so that no punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. That is what we want to do. So that the
I gave a chanting bags and mala to 4 of my aunties, Prabhuji. Ask them to chant.
One second, Mataji, just let me finish this. So that's what we should do. As much as possible, we should do. And this is the real welfare. Prabhupada concludes that real welfare, that I'm not saying others' welfare should not do it. Whatever possible we can do. That also do it in Krishna. Like, for example, somebody hungry, give prasad. So that's way, so we will feed their hunger. At the same time, they get Krishna is to, So like that, our real welfare activity should do it. With this, I'll stop here. It's already 9:30. Yes, Mataji, you were saying something. Sorry.
I gave chanting bags and malas to 4 of my aunties, Prabhuji.
Wonderful.
And I asked them to chant.
That's the best welfare
You
activity.
take it very seriously. These bags, you don't put it aside. You have to chant, because you're all finding so much time. We are not able to chant 16 rounds. Sometimes it's happening, and sometimes we are not finding. You people, you have time. And that only comes along with you, chant. Then they said, okay, we'll definitely do it. And they took the bags and malas, Prabhuji.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, comments from devotees. Maybe we'll go alphabetic order today. Start with the A. Asha Mataji.
With Krishna's mercy, I got this Asha, and I am first always, Prabhuji.
Okay, go ahead. And maybe I think more than Archana is first. Anyway.
Yes, Archana should be first, actually.
No problem. Go ahead.
Our intelligence should be used in Krishna's service. And if it is used in Krishna's service, it will never go waste. And we are usually influenced by Maya. We have to make all attempts to get rid of getting influenced by Maya. That is possible by chanting the holy names, hearing about Lord Krishna, his Leelas, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita is like a constitution for devotees, including me. And then to chant, there is no time, place constraint. So we can keep on chanting. I think so that will take us closer to the Lord, and we will have hankering for chanting more and more when we do more and more. And this chanting should be done with full attention, without any envy in our mind. Then not only chant, but also propagate chanting. That is for others' welfare. And I like the idea of you explaining that giving something to someone is beneficial temporarily. That's like a sympathy only. But we have to create what is known as, we have to be more empathetic than sympathetic. Because sympathetic can only, it's only very, very a time, it's for a temporary thing, whereas we can encourage them to chant, read, and Bhagavad Gita. That will, maybe we will purify ourselves, and that will help them as. So it is like a welfare for their and us as well. That is what I understood from today's class.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Archana Mataji. Any other points?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. What I today understood was Lord can be seen via sound and through the unseen eyes. That's why while chanting and all, like how Naradji had done. He got a vision only for a few seconds, but he was chanting and going all over the world. He traveled all over the world, and we have to give up our envy, and we should aspire to chant like Naradji. To go towards that which will help us to go back to the Godhead.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Ashik
Prabhuji.
Prabhu,
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
you are alone or Archana Mataji also there, or?
She is there, but like she is some
Okay,
busy
go
actually,
go ahead,
so I'm
go ahead.
no problem.
Okay.
So, yeah, Prabhu, so I joined in middle of the one of the shlokas, so where we are discussing about Krishna's name actually. Obviously, the Krishna name is not different from Krishna himself. That we have learned all and read, many times actually. And that's very important that we associate ourselves with the names, and this is something which will keep us always be spiritualized in terms of when we even if we leave our body, this spiritual consciousness will travel to our next life actually, which will fasten the process of reaching to the God. I think that's very important. And even the books, the Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita that we have it, I think when we read it, we try to analyze it. But like for example, if we have any problem, if you open any of page of the shloka, you will see that Krishna is giving you all the answers actually, and you can correlate that. Okay, this is happening with me, and this is the solution actually. And it is not like something which has to be proved again and again, but many saints, many sages have done that. Like for example, if you talk about Swami Vivekananda, Srila Prabhupada, all they have read this, and even Guru Tej Bahadur and all, they have put all these things actually. They have read, they have read about in them, and they've always referred to this our Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam actually. So all the things are being amalgamated in this particular books, which is very important for us to keep on reading to spiritualize ourselves. And whenever we read it, there is always the Krishna comes, and he's like he's always tries to listen to this actually. So that's why whenever the name of Krishna is being chanted, he always comes and sit with us actually, and that makes the whole house more purified actually. So that's what I understand, Prabhu. And of course, the reading, the more we read, the more we chant, the more we better understand the Lord, and we try to what you call stay away from our sense gratifications, which is very important. So that's why Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing more on chanting rather
Yes.
than anything else, actually. Yeah. So even if you are giving some dan or some whatever, doing service, but again, he says that 90% of things is chanting and 10% is remaining all these things. So chant, chant, and just remember this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Thank you. Lakshmi Mataji, another point there.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Simple, unalloyed service should be
Mhm.
rendered by us. So by accumulating this, such accumulation of God's service is never vanquished, it is not, but increases till fully matured it is. So we should do simple services, unalloyed services, and hearing about the Lord's pastimes continuously will make us progress in Krishna consciousness, and propagation of Krishna conscious to all is the best welfare activity to the mankind.
Yes. Thank you. Mariappan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Chanting holy name of Lord, ignoring all formalities of material world. Because of envy, I am in the material world. I must always chant holy name like Narada Muni without any material desire, with all humbleness. Knowledge of going back to Godhead is the only thing I must remember. And today I have realized the difference of giving Krishna conscious is the ultimate, instead of giving education, employment, health, or any other welfare services. If at all, if I want to give food, I must offer prasadam. This much I have realized, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Meena Mataji, anything you are hearing first time? So in case you want to share anything, please go ahead.
Nothing, Prabhuji. I'll wait for some more days.
No problem. No problem. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Sridevi Mataji, any other points?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay. Varsha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji. Sorry.
Lord can,
Mataji, go ahead. Yes, sir.
a Lord can be seen and realized through the transcendental sound of the Vedas. That is, by reading Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and all, they are the representation of the sound representation of the Lord. So we can be seen and realized through reading these scriptures. Then one more thing is like Narad Mahamuni, we have to develop the qualities what are with him, like fully satisfied, humble, and unenvious. So we have to, like Narad Mahamuni, we have to chant the holy name, fame, and glories of the Lord, and make all the people around us devotees, and make them into, bring them into Krishna consciousness, and make them devotees, like Narad Muni. Like Narad Muni, we cannot travel from one world to another world, but we can reach the people around us.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Varsha Mataji. Any
Hare
other?
Krishna, Prabhuji, nothing much. Thank you for the class.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you all for joining. Hare Krishna. So see you tomorrow. Possible, Sridevi Mataji will allocate the slokas. Please read and come prepared. So those who want to know Bhagavatam, we can arrange, read Bhagavatam, preferably book Bhagavatam. Yes, we are reading online because we are using technology, but at home, possible, please read Bhagavatam, book Bhagavatam. The touching book Bhagavatam itself purified. So please buy one. We can arrange for that so that everybody can read Bhagavatam. Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Nanta koti Vaishnav vrinda ki jai. Nanta Raj Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda ki